Yo, what's up? This is Toru, and today we're gonna drop 20 pounds in 20 minutes. It's gonna drop that dead weight. That's not true. That's not what we're here to do today. You're beautiful just the way that you are. We are gonna talk about a song I made called Stay in Play. I have been asked about the meaning of the title of this song, and before I get into that, I do just wanna say, my hope is when you hear my music, that you create your own meaning and attach your own experience to it, that it's about you and not about me. And so with that, the title works on two levels. The first is about participation. If you're not in the game, you can't win or lose, but more importantly, you're just not in the game, you're not trying. And the second, it's just a reminder not to take yourself too seriously. It's a really helpful reminder, and it doesn't always work that way, but that's why we make songs about it. If you've already heard Stay in Play, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming here to learn more about it. If you haven't heard it, I encourage you to go check it out. It's now streaming on all platforms. And with that, let's get into it. Okay, so we have the Stay in Play project open here. Real quick, I just want to show you the way that I laid out the project in terms of this color scheme, and I hope that makes it easier to follow along throughout the video. If you want a more detailed and in-depth explanation as to why I color code and the benefits of it, in my opinion, I explain it a little bit more in a video where I broke down another one of my songs for Frack, so please go ahead and check that out. These first 10 tracks here, all red, are all drums, and then these blue and green tracks I think of as extensions of the drum kit. They're toms and other hits. This orange track's a one-off drum break. All of these pink tracks are various percussion elements. Blue tracks are for bass, purple are Rhodes and piano. Both of these pink tracks here are a Juno emulation that I like to use. Each of these green tracks are a different guitar part that I played in the track. These three pinkish purple tracks are sax samples, and this final sample here is a guitar pluck that I found. So the main chord progression of the song is played on the keys, and that's actually 4 separate layers that you're hearing. So those 4 layers are actually split 2 and 2. 2 of them are audio tracks played on this Mark II Rhodes, and the other 2 are played on a MIDI keyboard using Keyscape. So I'm going to talk about the 2 audio tracks first that were played on this Rhodes. I played the same chords on the Rhodes, just one is an octave lower than the other. So I felt like the chords in the lower octave ran together a little bit and lacked some articulation, and I felt like the higher end helped bring that out. So I'll play the lower alone and then bring the higher on top and see if you can hear what I mean. I think I just felt like you'd hear the statement of each chord change being made a little bit more clearly, and it just felt better. Then the 2 MIDI parts are 2 instances of Keyscape. One is this acoustic piano, and the other is this vintage vibe Rhodes. The 2 MIDI parts together sound like this. And so again, it's the 2 audio layers and the 2 MIDI layers that you hear together throughout the entire song. I think at the time I was making this, I just wanted it to feel more full, and so I added 4 layers. And then I introduced some percussion. You can see we have some hand drums, a scratch sound, and some wood block, as well as the sax sample and the guitar pluck that I mentioned a little earlier. Those all together sound like this. And then we introduced the drums, and you can see up here all these red tracks are sort of the kick, hat, snare, the core drum parts. Those all together sound like this. And now let's add in some of those extensions of the drum kit, crash, the toms, and some of the additional rim shots. And then right here, there are these 2 tracks that are more subtle and in the background. They may even be more so felt than heard, but I think help make a difference and bring the drums to life a little bit more. The first of those 2 is some room noise. The second is a drum break that I had chopped to MIDI and then resequenced. So what I'll do is I'll play the drums on their own, and then while they're playing, I'll introduce these 2 elements and see if you can listen to hear the difference. Can you hear the difference? Let me know down in the comments. Alright, let's talk about the bass line that helps complete this groove. On its own, without any processing, completely dry, it sounds like this. And And then after some EQ, the RC20, I will crack open the RC20 here so you can actually see that. So you can see I started with this vinyl 1 setting, just have a little bit of noise and distortion though, and turned everything else off. I'm sidechaining it to the kick and putting this utility on there. And now here's the bass in the context of the rest of the track. Cool. As the song progresses, some guitar parts and synth parts that are introduced. So here's one of the guitar parts. And again, it just showed the guitar with and without the processing. You can have some EQ, chorus, RC20, and some compression. Without it, and with it. And then I have these two synth parts played through the Juno. One instance plays the chords along with the keys. And the other plays a little bit of a complementary riff. Next we have another guitar riff. And so now all of those elements together. The song sort of downshifts, the drums drop out, and some new percussion is introduced. And adding it in with the rest of the percussion. And as the song builds back up and the bass is reintroduced, I punched in a slide, and I feel like that just kind of helps create this live feel for a second. And then the song peaks at a guitar solo. First half is way more dynamic, has all of these bends. And then the second half I feel like is more tight and tense. I actually took the first half of the guitar solo and reversed it, which you can see here. And that I feel like just helps kind of add some tension, as well as sort of communicate that there's a change coming. It just felt better to me. The song returns to its original groove with a few new elements sprinkled in. There's a new guitar riff, another sax part, pluck comes back, and then we introduce one new sax part to close out. And so that brings us to the end of the track. So that was Stay and Play. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Share your thoughts about this video in the comments below, and let me know if there's anything you'd like to see in the future. Follow me on Instagram and Twitch at ToruB. I'll link all of that in the description below. Stay and Play is now streaming on all platforms, and Pay What You Want on Bandcamp. Please subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I'll be back with a new video soon. This has been Toru, and in a way, so are you.